Hi and welcome to Create. My name is Miriam and I am the General Manager at Create. So without further ado, today this is an explainer video and it kind of covers a little bit about the background, what it's all about, what the industry is about, and why I personally found it incredibly appealing. I believe it is the best business on earth, bar none. And the reasons for that really has been kind of my life journey. So 21 years ago now, I started on this journey really out of necessity. I was 29 years old and found myself pregnant with my second child. I had a 4-year-old at the time and 4.5-year-old actually at the time. And, I felt like I was pretty much a sellout as a person because I, didn't see my child. I basically dropped him off at daycare very early in the morning, rushed off to my job in the city as a corporate trainer and came back pretty late to pick him up. He was asleep by the time I got home. And that was my day, 5 days a week, pretty much. The weekend you spent recovering. The commute I was working in Surrey Hills in Sydney CBD, really. And I was living in the Northern Beaches at the time. The commute was close to 4 hours, return trip every day. It was horrendous. So that was my life back then, and I had to find an answer. I had to actually find a way out of doing that. I had done everything right up until this point, okay? They tell you to go to school, study hard, go to university, graduate, get a great job, and I did all of that, okay? And the end result really was that I found myself 29, pregnant with my second baby, with my second child, exhausted, okay, in a great career, okay, great career, they sell you on that, right? Pretty miserable. And so I had to find another way of doing life. It just wasn't really working according to the pamphlet. That wasn't what I was sold, right? Do good, finish uni, get that great job, and you'll be right. And it wasn't quite, right? And people do this for, decades and decades, for their entire lives, but I was, I guess I clicked on pretty quickly, I was in my late 20s and I just couldn't do it anymore. So, I went looking at options and couldn't find anything. Bottom line, I looked for the whole 9 months of my pregnancy. There was next to nothing. At 8.5 months, I stumbled on this, idea that there's money that's lost, and we're talking billions of dollars, okay, in Western jurisdictions. So that's Australia, New Zealand, the US, the UK, and Canada. Okay, and that's what our program covers, by the way. Billions of dollars, and, no one's out there to help people refund that money that's rightfully theirs. And when I realized that, and I really believe it was actually divine intervention, because I was so desperate, right? I was about to have my second baby and I didn't want to go back to work, and I was desperate and I was like, help me, right? And it came to me, and it was literally the best thing that ever happened to me, because it completely changed my life. So who I am and how I live my life today is absolutely nothing to do with that girl, that 29-year-old girl that was just desperate to get anything, to be working from home so that she can be around her kids. So that's what I really wanted, okay? It's not that I couldn't make money outside and climb a career. I was ambitious as hell, but that's not what I wanted. I actually wanted to not sell out on my family and my children, my other commitments, okay? And a lot of people are in that boat. They have other commitments or other passions, or, parents, kids that are ill, other things that are really important to them. And I don't want to give, 50 hours a week to a job that's taking them away from what is really important to them. And that was my dilemma. And so I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to start this business that no one's heard of, that doesn't really exist. And you know what? I'm going to make it work. And, you know, partly luck, partly extremely hard work on my part, and most likely divine intervention, I was massively successful. You know, I remember sitting in my accountant's office less than a year. So it was probably around 9-10 months after I started my business that I, self-taught, self-created. And, I remember him saying to me, literally, these were his words: you better go and, start, you better buy that company car. You better start thinking about incorporating, buying, that business car, doing those expenses, because, you're doing really well. And at that point, I was like, so I was so busy. I guess I was so scared of failing that I was just working really hard, making this thing happen. And apparently I was doing well, and it grew from there. And, today it's an industry, and it's incredibly privileged to be working in it, because we help people get what's theirs, what's rightfully theirs. Okay, so we're assisting people get refunds for money that's really theirs. And, without your help, very often they never ever get to see that money. Okay, and that's just the system that we live in, unfortunately. Okay. And, in doing that service, and that's, to me, I think it's a critical service, because, small businesses are struggling, individuals are struggling. There isn't anyone that really doesn't need their money, okay? And very often, we're not talking about small amounts. We're talking about, thousands of dollars mostly. And sometimes it's 6 figures, and sometimes it's 7 figures. Refund and get a percentage of 7-figure refunds. Now, beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, having said all that, what kind of person is suitable? I genuinely believe that you have to be community minded, and you have to be interested in working in a service industry. Okay, because I don't think this is just about the money. Yes, we do work with money. That's our job. We give money back. That's our product. What a beautiful product. Okay, who doesn't want to get their money back? But really, we're helping people, okay? And I think that takes a special person, and I think it takes a special mindset. And I genuinely mean that, because what set my business, I guess, apart, or what made me incredibly successful, was that I had a really good attitude towards my potential customers. I genuinely wanted to help them. I genuinely was excited at the fact that I was going to be giving them money back. And I loved it. Robin Hood was my childhood hero, I guess. And, the idea of, getting that money, and handing it from the government that's holding it in trust, and, giving it to its rightful owner. There's a sense of justice and a sense of service and a sense of goodness there that keeps you going. Okay, so it's a kind of job, or it's a kind of career where you've got win-win, and so you feel good. And so, if you're winning and your customer's winning, and you're creating, I guess, a readjustment in what is right, okay, you can keep on doing this all day long, every day, every year, for a very long time. So, it's not a career where, you hear people going, oh, I'm going to do something online, I'm going to just sell some crap online, and how quickly will you get bored of that? How quickly will you, find it less interesting because you're not doing anything of real value, something that doesn't really tug at your heart. So, that's the business that we're in the refund industry. And I believe that if it's something that resonates with you, have a good read of our information. It's very lifestyle friendly. You can do it during, really early morning, or in the middle of the day, if you only like working, a few hours during the day, or if you're a night owl, the majority, the big bulk, 80% of your work can be done, after 8 o'clock when the kids are asleep. And that was how I ran it, depending on where I was in my life. I ran it around my lifestyle. So, when in the early days, the bulk of my work was after my kids fell asleep. And to the outside world, I was a stay-at-home mum. But in reality, I was a stay-at-home mum that was just, the whole day was for my children. And I did a lot of work after they went to bed, and I was making 6 figures from the get-go. And that is incredible because it's a business that is, your product is, I guess, assured, because really your payer is the government, first of all. You have very little risk, okay? You don't take any risk to yourself because all you're doing is just being an in-between, okay? The government and the owner of the money, the rightful owner. And, you know, the beauty of it is, you know, you can do it anywhere. You can do it really fluidly. And I did. And I, you know, ran my business from the 4 corners of the world. You know, one of my biggest dreams was to show my children, you know, other lifestyles and other cultures. And I did that. You know, I ran my business from the Caribbean on a boat. And I've ran it from a small hut on the beach in the South Pacific in a place called Vava'u. And, you know, my kids had an incredibly international, I guess, experience growing up that no other business can afford me. And so, you know, that in itself, the fact that I can take it with me on my phone or on my laptop or on my, you know, iPad, okay? So it's portable, it's online pretty much. And the technology is obviously all there and getting even better every day to be able to afford you that flexibility and fluidity. And it's a business that you can take with you anywhere, gives you incredible freedom, absolutely incredible freedom. And, you know, with very little overheads, it's really hard to get overheads in a business. How beautiful is that? Because your biggest risk in business, and if you know, you're watching this and you've done business before, you know your biggest risk is your costs, okay? It's a business that doesn't have any marketing costs, that doesn't have any staffing costs, that doesn't have, you know, any rental, whether it be premises or equipment or anything of the sort. So your risk is immediately gone. And that's why I love this, I guess, business and this industry. It has given me so much. And I've seen it do that for hundreds of others. So we've been successfully teaching and training people for decades now. And, you know, it gives me huge pleasure to see success stories and, you know, see how it actually impacts other people's lives. So, you know, with that information, please find out a little bit more about, you know, whether this is the thing for you. And, you know, if you do, give us a call and have a chat. Our number is 1-800-61-71-11, and we'd love to hear from you. Bye.